The Championship did not disappoint this weekend, and the race for automatic promotion just got even more bizarre. We saw Ipswich, Leeds and Leicester all dropping points once again this weekend, but with Southampton beating Watford in very dramatic circumstances, that means that the Saints are well back in this promotion race. As things stand, this is what the Championship league table looks like. It couldn't be tighter in and around the top of the table, especially with Southampton having those game in hands to come. The focus of today's video will be on the race for automatic promotion. We're going to be taking a closer look at each of the promotion sides, going into their games over the weekend and where some of them went wrong. As always, I'd love to get your verdict on all of this in the comments down below. Who for you right now will finish in the top two? It's too close to call at the moment, with the top three sides all seemingly in free fall at the same moment. We've also got a really tasty match coming up in midweek as well, which sees Southampton going up against my team Preston. At the end of the video, we'll be previewing that match and I'll be giving my score predictions, so make sure to stay tuned for that. But without any further ado, let's go over this weekend's action and discuss how things have unfolded and shaped things at the top of the Championship. So as they were the first game on Friday, we'll start out by talking about Leicester and another opportunity missed for Enzo Maresca's side. I always think you have a slight psychological advantage over your opponents when you're the team that's playing first, because you get that chance to pile the pressure on the teams around you. But once again, Leicester failed to do that. Defeat for Enzo Maresca's side now means it's 6 losses in their last 10 matches. But despite all of that, Foxes fans will probably feel like they got away with one this weekend, because despite losing against Plymouth in really disappointing circumstances once again, they still have promotion within their own hands with 4 games to go. Now, I was doing a little bit of digging into some of Leicester's underlying numbers during this bad run of form that they've had over these last 10 matches. In their last 10 league games, they've accumulated a combined XG of 16.3, which is an XG per 90 of 1.63. What's funny is that's not that much of an overall drop-off from the XG they've been averaging all season, which is only slightly higher than that at 1.8. With Leicester, it is worth flagging up that they continue to get into some really good areas. They're just not putting those chances away right now. Patson Daka especially has been guilty of missing some gilt-edged chances of late. During their last 10 games, they've only actually hit the back of the net 11 times, despite accumulating an XG which is much higher than that. And maybe that is a consequence of the pressure really telling on this Leicester squad right now. They are losing matches which typically would have expected them to walk earlier in the season. Since losing that game against Middlesbrough in February, this is what the Championship table looks like. Leicester all the way down in 20th place, having only taken 10 points from their last 10 league matches. They're averaging 1 point per game right now, which is relegation form in the Championship, which is mental to say, considering where this side were just a few weeks ago. As crazy as it sounds, and as bad as this run has been for Leicester of late, I've still got a sneaky feeling that they will get themselves over the line. Their final 4 matches are against West Brom, Southampton, Preston and Blackburn. Dare I say it, my gut feeling is that they do win their last 2 matches of the season against Preston and Blackburn. By the time they play those 2 clubs, I doubt either of them have much to play for. Blackburn could be safe by that point. It was a massive result they picked up over the weekend against Leeds, and Preston doesn't look like they will be in the playoff battle anymore. So really, for the Foxes, I do think it could all come down to those clashes against West Brom and Southampton. The advantage is that they're both at the King Power. If they manage to win at least one of those games against either West Brom and Southampton and then beat Preston and Blackburn, it would put them on 97 points at the end of the season and would get them over the line for the top 2. With that being said, it's a lot easier said than done, especially with the current form book for the Foxes. Back-to-back 1-0 defeats for them. Can they get themselves going again against West Brom at the weekend? Let me know down below. After that, to Leeds United, who are now without a win in their last 3 Championship matches, losing 1-0 against Blackburn this weekend, which has to go down as one of the most Championship results this season. Leeds, a side who hadn't yet lost at Elland Elland Road this season, going up against a Blackburn team who had just shipped 5 goals to Bristol City in midweek and arguably put in their worst performance of the season. They rock up to Elland Road, look really well regimented in defence and constantly have that threat on the counter-attack from Sammy Szmodics. Szmodics had a good chance in the first half, which Meslier managed to get to, but the second half he proved to be the difference, and just how damning could that result be for Leeds United? The problem that now faces Daniel Farke's side is that promotion is no longer in their own hands, certainly automatic promotion. If Ipswich and Leicester win all of their remaining matches from this point until the end of the season, it doesn't matter what Leeds will do, they won't go up in the top 2. With that being said, I don't think either Ipswich or Leicester will win all their matches from this stage. I still think there's more drama to be had and more slips to be made. And from that logic, Leeds are very much still in this race, despite the obvious slip-ups of late. Elland Road has been an absolute fortress for Leeds all season, but it's not quite been that in their last 2 matches. They've drawn a blank in each of them, having failed to hit the back of the net. So from a Leeds perspective, it now all comes down to their final 3 matches of the season. They've got Borough away on Monday night. It's in a very quick turnaround to playing QPR away on the Friday night before a final day showdown against Southampton, which could be really spicy given the way Southampton are going at the moment. Honestly, my gut feeling with Leeds right now is that they draw the Borough match, win against QPR, and then the game against Southampton, I'm really not sure how to call. It is massively frustrating for Leeds because it's no longer in their hands, and having got themselves into such a magnificent position, feels like they've almost thrown things away in recent weeks. But with that being said, it could have been a lot worse for them had either of Ipswich or Leicester won this weekend, which they didn't do. Then to the Tractor Boys, who played out a 1-1 draw with Middlesbrough at Portman Road. Ipswich were the 3 PM kickoff on Saturday, so already were well aware of Leicester and Leeds dropping points. They managed to go top of the table for the time being with a point against Borough, but maybe it feels like that missed opportunity where had they won this one, they really would have put that decent amount of breathing space between themselves and Leeds United going into their final 3 matches. With all that being said, I think there are probably positives and negatives for Ipswich to take away from that Middlesbrough game. I think it was probably a step back in the right direction in terms of performance levels compared to their previous 2 matches. But on the opposite side of the coin, Borough could have easily won that one had it not been for some big saves from Václav Hladký. It's a very unique circumstance now that Ipswich will find themselves in, where they've got quite a big break between this and their next upcoming match. Ipswich won't play again in the Championship until the 27th of April, and by that point, Leeds, for example, will only have 1 more match to play, so Ipswich will very much be well aware of going into their final 3 matches of how many points it will take to achieve promotion this season. Now, the 3 final matches for Ipswich come in absolutely rapid succession. They've got 2 weeks now without any matches, and then they've got 3 games in a week to finish the season off. The 2 away matches, especially against Hull and Coventry, are looking particularly tricky, and then it's a final day showdown against Huddersfield, who could be scrapping for their lives in the relegation zone come that point. With that being said, the positive to take from this weekend is it's a point gain for Ipswich on their promotion rivals. We're a game closer to the end of the season, and with 3 games to go, Ipswich have promotion within their own hands, which absolutely every Ipswich fan would have taken at the start of the season. The question now is, do they have the bottle and steel to come through those 3 matches? Because even with a break to rest up a little bit, I can't see them winning all 3 of them. And then we really have to discuss Southampton as well, because how these last few weeks have unfolded, Russell Martin's men have really put themselves back into the promotion picture. A thrilling win in the end against Watford. I have to be honest, I saw them dropping points in that one. I had it down as a draw. Very nearly ended that way as well, but as we've known all season, Russell Martin's men have been the masters of popping up with a late goal. Was there a massive stroke of fortune by the way of that goal coming about? Yes, there was. Will Southampton care about that right now? Probably not. It is a very unique situation that the Saints find themselves in, because they've still got 5 games to play where the majority of Championship teams only have 3. That means Russell Martin's men still have 15 points to play for, and quite crucially as well, they've still got Leicester and Leeds to come. So if they win those 2 head-to-head matches, boy will they be in a good position. And you have to argue as well, of all the 4 sides that are still in contention for automatic promotion, it's Southampton with the form behind them right now. They've won back-to-back matches. If they were to win all 5 of their remaining games for the season, that would leave them on 96 points, which would seal them a place in the top 2. But I think that would probably be easier said than done. To go away to both Leicester and Leeds and claim a result would take some doing. Along with that, they've also got to come through games against Preston, Cardiff and Stoke City as well. The Preston game is coming up in midweek for Southampton, and let's go and preview that game now. So this one is the only midweek fixture that we've got coming up in the Championship, so do leave your score predictions for this game in the comments down below. I do think that this fixture, falling at this point of the season, does really fall into Southampton's favour. Had this fixture been when it was originally supposed to be played, I would have been a lot more positive on North End's chances of getting something from this one. But Preston coming off the back of a devastating loss against Norwich, which pretty much ends off playoff hopes. Southampton have to be fancying their chances against Ryan Lowe's squad, which is looking massively depleted right now in terms of the number of first-team players that we've got out injured. Our midfield especially has been absolutely battered of late. Now, earlier in the season in the reverse fixture at Deepdale, Preston gave Southampton a really good run for their money, and had it not been for a late equaliser, we would have got all 3 points. In saying that, it's a different circumstance we come into this game. Now, I've got a feeling that our heads might have dropped a little bit, and the energy within that North End squad will probably be a little bit low coming into this Southampton fixture, who are riding the crest of a wave right now, especially after that late winner against Watford. North End will always be about to spoil a party. I'm just not sure I can see it happening on this occasion. Score prediction in that match for me, I'm going to go 2-0 Southampton. I think they'll have it pretty comfortable. So then looking at the league table, if Southampton are to win that game in midweek against Preston, that would put them up to 84 points, just 3 points behind Leeds with a game in hand, and still with a head-to-head game to come at Elland Road on the final day of the season as well, which will be absolutely fascinating. The Championship is absolutely all about the drama. I'm sure we're going to get that in the final few weeks of the season, and I want to get your perspective on all of this in the comments down below. Plenty more to come from the channel over these next few weeks, but if you did go in to enjoy, make sure to drop a like, make sure to stick around and subscribe as well for some regular Championship content, and I'll see you all in the next one.